Welcome to View 2025, Birdeye's annual summit. This year's theme is agentic marketing for multi-location brands. Over the next 2 days, you will see how Birdeye's agentic AI trained on your brand and industry is transforming the way businesses grow, reduce costs, and deliver better customer experiences. We're introducing a suite of autonomous AI agents across all of our products. These agents don't just automate tasks, they drive outcomes. In this session titled Who's Defending Your Reputation, we are here to talk about trust. Why, you may ask? Because every experience is personal. Your online reputation speaks to the customer before your team ever does. We'll discuss about building trust online and how AI agents can help multi-location businesses not only protect but earn trust online. I am thrilled to be joined by two leaders who have transformed how their organizations manage reputation, not just to protect brand image, but to influence business outcomes. Please welcome Cara Latham, VP Marketing at Grace Management, and Andy Sauter, VP Revenue Growth and Communications at Pure Healthcare.
How's it going?
Super excited to have both of you here, Cara and Andy. Before we get into reviews and AI and all of the shebang, let's start with the very basics. What do your respective organizations do, and what are the outcomes that you as marketing leaders care about? Let's start with you, Cara.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks so much for having me. Reviews is something I'm super passionate about. So excited to be here today. So I work for Grace Management, Inc. And what we do is we operate and own a portfolio of 75 communities across the country, ranging from active adult 55 and up communities to independent living, assisted living, and memory care communities across the country. And so what we think about when we think about those metrics that matter, it's all about occupancy, right? Driving occupancy. We measure move-ins, so we're trying to get people to move in. We look at length of stay, right? How long are they staying with us? And then resident satisfaction is hugely important. We want to make sure we're delivering on the promises we make to both the residents and then the family members because they're putting their trust in us. We obviously look at customer acquisition costs and customer lifetime value.
How about you, Andy?
Hi everyone. It's great to be here with you as well. I'm from Pure Healthcare, which that's a parent company of our flagship Pure Infusion Suites. And what we do is we provide IV infusion care for those patients with chronic illness. So maybe suffering from MS, Alzheimer's, arthritis, Crohn's or colitis. We have 45 locations across 14 states. And really our aim is to make that patient experience better really than the hospital. We have private suites, we have entertainment, snacks, lunch, room for their friends and family to come in. We really pamper those patients during a very difficult time in their life. We're a referral-based business, so really the things we're interested in are those referrals coming from a specialty provider. So like a neurologist will send their patient to us to be infused. We'll be an extension of their practice. So that referral volume, also to be able to keep that patient during the duration of their treatment at Pure, as well as just make sure we deliver on that patient experience vision that we have across 14 states, remote 45 locations. So we're really interested in that.
So the way I understand it, Cara and Andy, I think for both of you, the outcomes look slightly different, even though both of you are essentially healthcare businesses, but the context is slightly different. For example, for you, Cara, probably growth is about occupancy and family trust, whereas Andy, for you, it's referral velocity and provider relationships. I think that context is key because as we would discuss, we would realize that even within sort of similar businesses, how reputation and reviews can help move that business needle, provide and drive the outcomes that you as businesses care about, which which I think brings me back to the next question, right? Like, let's talk about these outcomes. Do you see a clear connection between reviews and revenue in your business? How about you, Kara?
Yeah, absolutely. Just the frequency of reviews is very, very important. And then obviously the quality of reviews is very important. Over 80% of people searching for senior living start their search online. Our kind of key personas are the residents themselves, the caregivers, and then the adult children make a lot of decisions. And a lot of times adult children don't live where mom and dad live. And so they're naturally searching online. It's becoming more and more important. So it absolutely matters. Are our communities generating reviews frequently? And, if they're, not always positive, are we responding in a thoughtful way and taking care of it and building trust, et cetera? So yes, very important.
How about you, Andy?
We're a little different. Patients viewing the reviews is important, but since we're that referral model where providers are sending their patients to us to care, we use those reviews as sales material to those providers. We're able to take those and go back and show that provider in their own patient's words what we've done for them, that we've been able to deliver on our promise, that we are that true extension of their team, of that referring office. We are trying to get a bit more granular. We want to segment by location, by referring provider, connect back to our EMR, our CRM systems to make it easier to access that data quickly while our sales reps are out in the field. It's been a little clunky, a little challenging for us at times.
No, absolutely. And I think that's very interesting because a lot of businesses continue to look at reviews and reputation as more of a PR function. They don't realize that this is actually driving revenue for them. And again, it might vary. Like what I'm seeing is, Kara, that at Grace, it is about, the direct traffic that it drives, whereas at Andy for Pure Healthcare, it is about the referral volume that it drives. But in both of those cases, it's very clear that reputation is a key driver, a key growth driver in terms of revenue.
For sure.
All right.
Yeah. I was just going to add in that sometimes what we've seen is that sometimes at the community level, they're not making the connections. Like we're spending, lots of dollars on Google Ads or SEM, and you see the traffic coming, but then you do a diagnostic and you're like, why aren't these converting? And you see, oh, they haven't had a review in 10 months, or oh, their reviews aren't looking fantastic. And so we've been very intentional. We have a whole reputation playbook that we've rolled out where we're educating the communities to kind of understand how important these reviews are in, generating a positive reputation and getting those move-ins.
Yeah. And which brings me to that next question, because Kara, you raised a very interesting point on how communities are being educated to look at reviews, to understand the importance of reputation. I'm very curious to understand, how do both of you look at reputation as a tool for performance management within multiple teams, within multiple locations? And if you could just just share some insight there.
Yeah, that's a great question. We use the amount of volume we have coming in. We use them as instant direct feedback loops. Reviews are one of our main KPIs, 5 or 6 KPIs that we look at from a business standpoint. We're able to recognize and highlight our nursing staff, our clinic staff immediately when something good happens, when something comes in, and get down to the specific location. In QBRs, we're able to look at how a clinic is doing as a whole, the sentiment that they're receiving. Are they delivering on that patient-obsessed care? One of the fun things that we've implemented recently is what we call the Name Drop Award. We use AI to extrapolate the names. Nice tool to make that fast, but we're able to pull those who have been mentioned in reviews and give them an award in our awards platform publicly here with our team, and really shout out the care that they're providing.
I love that. How about you, Kara? What does it look like at Grace Management?
Yeah, I think Andy brings up a great point. I love that, the name drop. That's awesome. I might take that. But so I think we automatically, when you think of reviews, you automatically, your brain goes to negative and how do we handle those? But to Andy's point, there's a lot of positive. So how do we use that to continue to inspire and recognize our associates? Really, really important. And that's something we do at Grace through a platform we have called Kudos, where they can, be given gifts and different awards and just shout outs, which is so important. On the other end, though, I think it comes back to process. Like, what is the process? Do you have a good, strong process? Are we taking this feedback, especially when you're looking at 40 plus sites or 70 plus sites? How are you managing that? There's literally no way we could do it without like a Birdeye, just aggregating everything, tagging things, understanding what those common themes are, pain points, etc. So we know then what do we need to work on, right? And again, it's a diagnostic tool for us as well from a performance standpoint. And so again, we have a very detailed process where a review comes in, we respond right away. It goes to a divisional vice president along with, a national leader, depending on what area the issue is involved in. And we immediately handle it immediately. And I always say, even the negative reviews are a thank you because it helps us be better and we can service recovery a lot of times. And it's proven that people have stronger loyalty when people expect mistakes, right? We're not perfect, especially in senior living. Your home is not perfect. You're going to have leaks. You're going to have, things that happen. But how are we handling it? And so this platform really helps us identify these things. Are people more comfortable to speak up online? Sometimes they are, especially being in a community. They don't want to hurt someone's feelings, but they'll go online and say it. And then we know about it and we can address it. So really just having a strong process and following through with correcting whatever the issue is.
I think what I love about both of those initiatives, be it the Name Drop Awards and the Kudos platform, is that all of this is also being coupled with real-time operational improvement. So it's not just about performance management, say at an individual level, you are also sort of extrapolating it on a location level, sharing it with the leadership, with the executive leadership, identifying those, operational indicators which would help drive improvement, which again brings me back to the point I think that we've been trying to make here is that reviews has just so much more to do, right? Like it's not just about the consumers or it's not just about the patients that come in or their families. It's just so much more about the internal teams, the locations, how they look at it. So, I mean, I think, I think it's very clear that reviews are not anecdotal at all anymore. And I think one of the other things that I also wanted to talk about was hiring. Kara, I remember you mentioned this earlier when we were speaking that reputation isn't just for consumers anymore, it's also for prospective employees and candidates. Can you share a little bit more about it?
Yeah, I think over the years we've seen some of those candidate platforms that, where you can view, what the reputation is like or what's it like to work there. There's a lot of like friction where you can't get into them easily without divulging your salary or, other things like that. And I've seen candidates go to check reviews, Google reviews, Yelp reviews. And so I think because number one, it's easy, right? You don't have to jump through any loops or provide any information. So it's easy, but it's very, very important. So, I've been in interviews before with previous companies where people say like, hey, I read your reviews. I'd love to work here, but I'm a little nervous about the reviews. And that happens, right? Because people want to know what they're walking into, especially when you look at some of the generations. They're really, really looking for a company that is mission driven, impactful, going to stand behind what they're saying they're doing. And it's not, just a cover. And so these very much matter from a recruitment marketing standpoint.
Yeah. And I think I find it extremely insightful and I'm very curious to understand if that's something you have also seen at Pure Healthcare. How does it look like there?
Yeah, I love what Kara said, and I'll just add a couple things to it. I agree 100%. We've seen the same thing, and especially those platforms Kara referred to are often like that's where you go when you're disgruntled. That's when you go when you're angry and want to get back at the company. So Yeah, we hear that a lot in our interviews. We hear people. I mean, I'm going to brag a little bit, but we have almost 5,000 five-star reviews. So
Wow.
in our reviews, they go in, they tell us, they're like, oh, I looked at your reviews, and man, you guys look like you put your money where your mouth is. You live these principles and these values because it shows in the reviews. And in our line of business, those reviews tend to be a little like they're very heartfelt. Some of these patients have waited years to get on these biologic infusions to receive relief, and luckily we get to come in at the end and give that relief and pamper them, treat them like kings and queens. And so they write paragraph after paragraph in those reviews of how this has impacted their life. And to Kara's point, especially in healthcare and nurses, they're looking for companies that where they're able to do that they're able to make a difference in people's lives. And so it's key for us. Our recruiters talk about our reviews to our candidates all the time.
Yeah. No, I can, I mean, that's such an interesting take, right? Like, I don't think a lot of businesses look at it that way. They are, again, I think they're just very focused on reviews for customers, reviews for, or even if, say, for example, maybe they even, they might actually sometimes even use reviews for operational improvements, like identifying which employees are being appreciated. But this part that, prospective candidates are looking for, I mean, prospective employees and candidates are looking for it. There's such an important nuance that I think a lot of businesses might miss. And I'm so glad you guys brought it up. So I think we've talked about reputation in a lot of lenses, right? We've talked about it from a customer aspect, we've talked about it from a internal performance management aspect, and even from a talent aspect. But then I think one of the other things that I was very interested to know about, and this is something that had come up during our previous discussions, was reputation influencing other external stakeholders like investors or partners. Kara, Andy, can you guys expand on that too?
Sure. I mean, we definitely use it. I think whenever you have some type of strategic partnership, you want to make sure that everything is aligning, is congruent with what you're hearing. And so it's just another data point, right? Is it always accurate? No, not exactly, but it gives you, especially when I'm thinking about someone we'd want to partner with from a healthcare standpoint, I'd look at Andy and say, yes, like he's super legitimate. They have these great reviews from real customers. Yes, that was someone I would put my name on. And so again, just another data point, but it's very important. And I know, that we manage communities for owners, and they're looking at our reviews. They want to make sure that we are, again, delivering on the promises that we're making, and they're staking their business on us from a management standpoint. So they are going to check that as well. It's very important going both ways. They're looking at us, but we're also looking at our partners as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love that. We have a few other target markets that we use reviews with. Investors like Kara said, being patient obsessed and delivering on that is key to our financial success. That's our whole model. And our investors are very interested if we're executing on that plan and that strategy. But also we work directly with insurance companies as well to make sure we're contracted so we can take care of their patients. We take those reviews back from their members and are able to say, look what we do for your members. A lot of insurance companies will then actually redirect their patients to us and give them a state of care mandate and say, no, you need to go to Pure because they're awesome. They're going to take care of you. And it's also some good leverage for us when we go back and renegotiate the reimbursement rates that they're going to give us. Great leverage, great content. Also our pharma partners, our pharmaceutical companies, we provide those reviews to them, and they talk us up. They'll talk us up to their patients that are trying to get treatment. Be like, you know what? If you go to Pure, you'll be taken care of. One last one that I wanted to mention was just competition. We keep an eye on the competition. as you do, and watch what the reviews that are coming in for them. And if there's something in there that we're missing, that we're not being recognized for, we need to, like you said, Sanjeet, on operations, we go back and look at, do we need to change? Do we need to do things a little differently?
Yeah. Yeah. Is that something, Kara, that looking at competitors, is that something that
Yeah,
rapid reviews help
absolutely.
you do?
Yeah,
Yeah.
again, it's just another diagnostic, but it helps us really understand like what is going on out there, what are people thinking and saying. So very, very important to be looking at competition, and this is a very easy way to do so.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think the takeaway that I feel is that reputation is multidimensional. It helps build trust with partners, it attracts investment, it signals competitive gaps besides attracting new patients or new consumers, or helping identify operational improvements or attracting new talent. So this I think this makes reputation a board level concern, if I were to say so, and not just a marketing metric. Is that something that you both feel resonates with you? How do you think that this is that important? Is it a board level concern, having how your reputation is faring?
Yeah, absolutely. Again, when you're thinking about all the different ways we measure customer sentiment, whether it's net promoter score, customer satisfaction, all those different metrics, it's very important. It's on everyone's mind. And it's just over the years, it's become more and more important. That's just it. You can no longer ignore it. And it really is a tool across your whole business. It's no longer just marketing and, oh, this is cute. Like, let's make sure we look good. It should be part of your strategy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Throughout the whole customer journey.
Yeah. How do you feel the same way, Andy?
Yeah, for sure. When I came over to Pure Healthcare, this was my first time in the healthcare industry. I came from others in the marketing world, and healthcare is like Kara said, it should be key to your strategy. There should be investment put into it, time, talent, systems, like a Birdeye. It is that important and key, I think, to your company's success.
Awesome. I think that's what makes it so important. Like, it's no longer something that only marketing teams care about. It's something that everybody all across the org cares about. So now let's talk about the elephant in the room, right? Like, let's talk about AI agents. Birdeye is launching a number of AI agents, one of which is review response agent. So how do you guys look at using, say, review response agent? Kara, if I can, Andy, if I can start with you. Andy, yeah, I think.
I'm sorry, I can start. Okay, so you're asking how we're currently using the AI.
How do you think review
Sure.
response agent would sort of come in
Yeah,
play?
definitely. So we do use it. We use it in different ways. So when I first came to Grace, we were using it kind of to respond to everything, and we reevaluated everything, and we realized, like, we're not selling shoes. It's not a meal. Like, this is like people's lives. Most people are not excited. I'll just be really honest. They're not excited to move to senior living. Now, we make it really vibrant and exciting and amazing and, lots of hospitality. So we make it fun, but most people are not like, I can't wait for the day I get to move into senior living, right? It's a very emotional decision. The information they're sharing online is very emotional, heartfelt. A lot of times people leave reviews after their loved one has passed away, to give a sincere thanks. And so we really looked at it, and, right now it's all about authenticity. There's so much fake online right now. It's so hard to tell what's real and what's fake. But so our approach to AI is human first, AI enabled, human last, right? So we will use those. I'm excited where we'll get to the point where it's a little bit cleaner. So for instance, if someone says like, oh my gosh, like, I love the Sunday suppers that we have. The spaghetti is our favorite. Chef John's amazing. I don't want to respond back with a canned response that says, thank you so much for your review at blah, 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 blah. We want to say, oh my gosh, you're right. Chef John is amazing. Did you know he's won these awards? And, whatever that is, we want to have some dialogue back from an authenticity standpoint. And so that really matters to us, being authentic. The other thing is, from an SEO standpoint, we want to make sure it's like search engine optimized, right? And so we are looking at it from a strategy standpoint. Is this response search engine optimized? Not to say I can't do that. Again, I'm super excited about where you guys are now and where you're going. We utilize it a little bit. We may more heavily in the future. I love the idea of what you were saying, how if we're seeing reviews go down at a particular community, I can ask them like, hey, why are these reviews going down? And they're going to analyze all the reviews and come back and say, hey, great, it looks like there might be some issue, a maintenance issue, or whatever that case may be. That saves us a ton of time. So
yeah,
human brain first, AI, human brain last is kind of what our approach is at this point in time.
Yeah. How do you look at it, Andy?
Yeah, I love that, Kara. We use a little bit of that hybrid approach as well. I don't know if we're human first. We might be a little more AI first. With the volumes we have coming in, and we'll do actually contests across or challenges across all our locations who can ask for the most reviews. And so during those months, the volumes coming in can get really overwhelming for our team to respond to those. You get behind, you're weeks behind responding. And so we've leveraged the AI tools pretty well to build some templates to generate and really to address some of those more routine responses. And then, like Kara said, there's those instances when you really need that human touch, and we'll kind of generate an AI response and then do a little bit of tweaking, a little bit of human tweaking and adding. One thing we also have to be careful of, which Birdeye has really helped with this, our rep has helped us do this, but in the healthcare industry, we have to be careful with HIPAA regulations. When we respond, we can't allude in any way that these guys are a patient, what they're suffering from, their conditions. Even if they are the ones who bring it up in their review, we have to be very careful. And so having the ability to generate some templates and also to tweak those manually has been fantastic. And also just to be able to add content, website content, marketing materials to help provide that tone and feeling, and our voice has been super helpful.
Yeah, I think so. I think we've covered it's quite interesting because from what I see is that AI works the best, especially in sensitive or regulated industries that care about compliance and that care more about that empathy, is when it understands the context, it understands the compliance, and if it's trained right, that's where it would add the most value. I think that's what I am gathering from both of you. And of course, we did bring up the review. I think one of the things, Kara, that you said, being able to find those insights, I think that's what the review reporting agent does. But how do you see, Andy, the review reporting agent also coming up in play? How do you see Pure Healthcare using it?
Yeah, I think having the report agent, so I mentioned earlier, we use these reviews as sales tools. Right now, our salespeople are taking those and copying and pasting them into decks, into templates, things like that. It is time consuming. These are sales reps. We love sales reps, but sometimes they're not as technologically advanced. To have agents help bubble up the most relevant, the most recent, the most specific reviews for them will be super helpful.
Yeah. Another agent that I wanted to ask about was review generation agent, which allows businesses to actually optimize their review requests as per channel, as per platform, based on the past engagement in terms of scheduling. How do you see, Kara, review generation agent fitting with the current day-to-day?
Yeah, that is something we lean on heavily. It is very important. And so, it's important to us for most things, but especially in senior living, the first 90 days is critical, right? Absolutely critical. It's a make it or break it. They're either going to integrate into the community and feel like they belong there, or they're not. So we have something called graceful transitions, where it's multiple touch points over a 3-month period and very intentional touch points. One of those being, can we get some type of survey? And it's really important to be able to gauge, to get this feedback from not only the resident, but also the family members. What was your experience like? A lot of times we even solicit feedback from the person who referred, right? And we take it back, whether it's a healthcare provider that referred to us or a realtor, a financial planner, an attorney. We'll go back and say, hey, we just wanted to let you know so-and-so's here. She's doing fabulous. Here's a picture of her dancing at our last activity. But we also like to get feedback from the different stakeholders we have. And so this helps us from a time standpoint to just push them out at certain, in certain cadences and durations across that whole journey to all stakeholders. Excuse me.
Wendy, how do you see review generation agent playing its role?
Yeah, we use it as well. We're able to get really specific and segmented for our patients by either age, demographic, location. We have, our older arthritis patients probably like it at 6 a.m. And our younger GI patients might like it in the evening, right? And when they get those requests. And we're able to customize the message too. We're able, we speak to our Montana patients very differently than we do to our Las Vegas patients, right? And so we're able to customize that a little bit, and integrating into our EMR systems, like We Infuse is what we use, and putting that in there helps us really, refine down those demographics and get that custom message out.
Yeah. Andy, I love what you said about segmentation. That is so important. And you're right. Like speaking with someone in, Idaho is very different than speaking with someone in Florida. Very, very different. So the fact we're able to adjust that so easily is amazing. Amazing.
Awesome. So I think we're towards the end of the session. I wanted to take up this one question that I know a lot of our customers have before we close. And it was this, that negative reviews, are a part of the territory, especially in businesses like healthcare and sensitive industries. They tend to become quite emotionally charged and also factually, sometimes incorrect. How do you handle those at your respective businesses, and and especially when it can impact employee morale, like what's the strategy that you folks follow?
I loved what Kara shared earlier about negative reviews, because she pointed out that nobody's perfect. And early on in my career, I anytime a negative review would come in, I think I would get very defensive. They're attacking my company, my people. Like you said, maybe sometimes the information is incorrect. They're telling their story, and I want to get on there and dispute. I want to argue. I want to help everyone see that they're wrong, we're not wrong. And I quickly learned that that's probably not the best practice, but really negative reviews are an opportunity, like Kara said, to show that really to any outside viewer how we address an issue, how we want to make it right, and we have the opportunity to show that. We have so many good reviews that come in, so that when a negative one comes in, we're like, ooh, we can show everyone that we do make mistakes, but when we do, we are going to make it right. And a lot of times we'll even put, please contact me personally. I'll put my personal phone number in the response. I don't know if that's a good idea or not. I probably get spam for that, but like, it just shows like, hey, we want to talk to you ASAP. We have triggers that go to our regional managers too. When something like this comes through, immediately they're able to reach out to the patient and ask them, like, talk through the situation. We try not to wait days. We try to do this in hours, right? And talk through the situation. And the majority of the time, that patient will go in and take the review down after they talk to a human, right? They want somebody to listen to them. They want to vent. And sometimes that's through Google or through reviews. But yeah, I think it's totally an opportunity, like Kara mentioned earlier in the call.
How about you, Kara? How
Yeah,
do you
I definitely can relate to feeling a little defensive initially, and reviews have changed so much. I started off in hospitality and then moved to healthcare, and now I'm in senior living, which is a perfect blend of both. But, reviews have changed a lot. Thankfully, companies like Birdeye make it super easy, so it's great. But there's definitely a right way and a wrong way. I will tell you this, I'm just going to call it out. You'll get a lot of negative reviews coming in after work, or people having a couple of drinks, and then they're kind of, and people are bold when they're behind their screens, right? They're not going to be as bold. So
Yeah.
I think our teams very much own it when you're like, oh yeah, we really dropped the ball there. This is legitimate. I think it makes people, it hurts morale when you're like, this is crazy. This is a disgruntled employee that got their husband, and and so we fight those. And again, Birdeye makes it super easy, and we have pretty good success with taking things down if you can identify like, this is an employee or this isn't accurate. So thank you for making that easy. I will tell you this as well, which Andy said, people are human. And so I'll share this one example. We had taken over a community. We had acquired a community. The previous management group wasn't paying a particular, like a landscaper. They owed him a certain amount of money. One day, he got all of his friends, like 20 people, to just blast out negative reviews. And I'm like, what is going on? Like, it's like a knockout for a company, right? For a small community. You're like, oh my gosh. So I start digging around. We find out what the issue is. Our divisional vice president picks up the phone, calls him, and says, hey, like, you're a small business. Like, what is going on? Like, what is going on? So we ended up figuring out, like, he genuinely was owed money. We were, it should have been discovered earlier. It wasn't. That's okay. We are gonna fix it. He's great. He went ahead. He had all of his friends remove the reviews. I think in the heat of the moment, people sometimes just react. And when you sometimes kind of say, hey, can we talk about this? Can we come to a resolution? Like, this is really not indicative of our amazing residents and associates at the community level. And this is like actually really hurtful. Can we solve this? Most people are pretty reasonable. And so I would say for anyone listening, don't be scared to like pick up the phone and call and try and have a conversation. Now, there are other people you're never going to reason with. Don't call after hours when people might be having a couple of drinks. But, people are pretty reasonable when it comes to these things, is what I've found over the years.
Yeah. No, I think that's such an interesting story, because negative reviews is something nobody likes a negative review, and we really need to find the right way of handling it. But I love how both of you have strategized this, and you have like a really nice playbook on responding to negative reviews. So I love that. So I think we're almost at the end of the session. We just have, a couple of minutes more left, but I want one final thought from both of you. And Kara, the question that I wanted to ask you was, what's that one thing you want marketing leaders to remember about building trust through reviews? Just one thing if you had to pick up.
Oh, I can't pick one thing, but it's one thing, but it's in 3 words. 3 things easy to remember. So active, authentic, and action, right? So the message is you can no longer ignore reviews. Like, you have to figure out who is doing what. Is this customer success? Is it marketing? Is marketing overseeing it? Who owns it, right? What is that process? Are people equipped? So in our communities, they have, collateral that has our reviews on there, or, generating reviews. You can't just passively sit by anymore and think, oh, someone might leave a review. You actively have to be asking people, different, constituents, and give your people the tools to be able to generate those reviews. So being active, being authentic, we already talked about authenticity, how important it is in your responses. And sometimes people don't know what to say for a review. So you could, you might need to say, hey, I noticed that you really like the water aerobics. Why don't you write about that? Like, you might need to guide them a little bit, and that's okay too. But whatever is authentic, and then, are we going to take action? If there is something identified, are we going to do something about it? There's nothing worse than asking for feedback or seeing something blatant on there and never doing anything about it. So that's my one word, not really, but.
I loved it. I'm going to call it the AAA framework.
Thank you.
It is fantastic. Andy, to you, my question was that what's that one lesson that you have learned about using reviews to strengthen provider and patient relationships?
God, I don't know if I can keep it to one either. But
Maybe you can be clever and put an acronym to it the way Kara.
I'm not ready with my acronyms, but I think reviews validate values. That's not too bad. Reviews validate values.
Yes, love that.
Our relationships with our providers are key to our success. Our relationship with our patients are too, but really that first step is to the provider, and it validates everything that our sales reps go in and say. It validates everything that leadership says to the internal team. And the volumes that we're able to get, and a lot of help with Birdeye to do that, having the volumes that support that, having our internal staff asking in the right way, like Kara was alluding to, like making sure we're asking the right way is so valuable in a people service industry.
Absolutely. I love that.
Can I say one thing? Actually, you said asking in the right way. That is so true. And we coach on this all the time. It's part of our playbook. But a lot of times people are like, hey, can you leave a review? People really like to be helpful, especially in the healthcare space, senior living space. So if you frame it to say, hey, Sanjeet, we'd really like to get your review because it helps other people find a great senior living community. Would you please take a moment? People are going to naturally be like, I want to help other people. This was a really hard choice. It was confusing. I want to help. But if you just say, leave us a review, they're going to be like, why? So
our nursing staff is uncomfortable saying, they feel like they're selling something if they're like, hey, leave us a review. They push back on us when we're like, ask them for a review. But if you reframe it exactly like you said, Kara, like help other people know that this is available for you, that they can experience this too. It's no longer a sell. It's a let's help. I love that, Kara. Well done.
I love that too. Honestly, I think this has been such a great session. We are at the end of the time here, but I want to thank both of you for making time for this session. I have personally loved speaking to both of you, and to everybody else in the audience. You can check out all of these AI agents in our virtual demo booth. And this brings us to the end of the session. Enjoy your rest of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.